stem plots tend to go in groups of 10. For example, at least 10 but less than 20, at least 20 but less than 30, and so on. If things are too clumped together, then we could spread it out a bit by splitting the stems. The at least 10 but less than 20 would be split up with at least 10 but less than 15, and then at least 15 but less than 20. The 20 stem will be split up as at least 20 but less than 25, and then at least 25 but less than 30, and so on. Now, backing up, ignoring for a moment talking about split stems, um, when I said that we go with the groupings by tens, it could actually be powers of 10. So we could be going by hundreds, by 1000s, by 10,000s, and in the other direction by tenths, hundreds, thousands, and so on. Even still, sometimes we have to do a little bit of rounding of this scores that we have in our data before we put them into their groups and construct a stem plot. So what we have here is information about 5-year rate of return of 20 mutual funds. They reported to the hundreds place. And a stem always has, sorry, a leaf in the stem and leaf plot. It's the leaf that's always one digit. Whereas a stem would be everything in front of the place of that digit. So in this case, if we were to leave these in the hundreds place, then the leaf for that first score would be 1, and then we would see 13.0 as a stem. Well, that's going to have us running. We've got scores here as low as 11.02 and as high as 14.53. You'd have everything from 11.0 to 14. Sorry, 11.53 is not the highest. 14.58 might be the highest there. I'd have to double check. Well, then you'd have a bunch of different stems, which are going to have things too spread out. That's the reverse of what I was talking about earlier. So we're supposed to round these. Where are we supposed to round them to? Round to the nearest tenth. Okay? So the rule is if it's 5 and up, to round up. If it's below 5, round down. So 13.01 is going to round down to 13.0. 12.09 is going to round up to 12.1. 11.02 down. 14.58 up. 12.42 down. 13.79 up. 13.49 up. 13.03 down. 11.69 up. 14.08 up. 14.02 down. 12.83 down. 13.77 up. 12.34 down. 12.75 up. 11.33 down. 12.18 up. 13.65 up, 14.49 up, and 11.53 down. See what's coming up next. All right, draw a stem and leaf plot of the modified data. All right, before we do that, I'm going to enter that data after the rounding into a stat table and sort. Technically here we've got 20 scores. I could sit here and arrange them, and that would help in coming up with a stem plot, but I'm going to let the technology help. So back in a moment. All right, so I've entered the 20 scores in, and hopefully I have done so correctly. Found out something I never really paid attention to before. To get the sorting, I can just press stat again and go to sort ascending. I was going to a different place to find that command. Press the second key, and then since I put the data in list 1, second, and then the digit 1, close the parentheses, it is ready. And so now I need to see what those are in order. Let's see here. So second and 1. So I'll scroll through that kind of slowly for you. Through the 20 scores. All right, so the last digit in the tens place is going to be the leaf. Notice that with the 13s, that's 13.0, and so our leaf will be 0 in that case. You can't skip any of these 20 scores. All right, so it told me that my rounding was correct, and hopefully I entered those in correctly. Let's go back here. I'll be looking at what you just saw in the calculator while typing this in. Let's see here. So we've got an 11.0. I'm assuming that we're supposed to put commas here. 3, 5. See what's next. 7. And then it jumps to 12.1. Notice the little key at the bottom here, that the 11 bar 0 stands for 11.0 instead of 110, because we're going by tenths instead of ones, and so our groupings instead of by tens are by ones. Let's see, meaning I've jumped from things at least 11 but less than 12, and then things that are at least 12 but less than 13. So we've got 12.1, 12.2. Let's see here. 12.3 and a 12.4, and then a 12.8. Another 12.8. Repetition must be accounted for. You can't leave it out. We need all those 20 scores represented. Then we see the two 13s, which are 13.0s. followed by 13.5, 13.7. All right, so 5 and 7. Got two 13.8s, 14.0, 14.1, 14.5, and 14.6. So that is 4, 10, 16, 20 scores. This could be any number of reasons what went wrong. I could have entered the data incorrectly. So let's see here. I see. Look at that. They don't want those commas. Take my commas out, and this is matching up. Now, see, I would not have done commas if I was doing this by hand. However, working with a new textbook here, I thought perhaps they wanted it. I assumed incorrectly. Live and learn. And describe the shape of the distribution. This definitely looks symmetric. We've got 4 groups here. Down the middle, 6 and 4. Going the other direction, 6 and 4 in terms of how many scores there are. So it's definitely looking symmetric. However, that's not one of the choices. I can, because I have stated that, leave out choice A and choice D. The question is B or C. Which one is it there? Well, it's not uniform. Uniform would be, in other words, constant, like a horizontal line, a horizontal line that you see in algebra. In this case, it would go vertical instead of horizontal. So this is looking more like it's symmetric and bell-shaped. If you watch how I'm tracing out a curve tightly hugging the stem ply here. I'm going to go with choice B. All right. More in a bit.